Hello, dear viewers. Today we're going on an amazing journey through time and space. We'll find ourselves in one of the most magnificent and mysterious places on Earth, ancient Egypt. Have you ever wondered how people lived thousands of years ago? What were their customs? How did they build their homes? And what did they do every day? In this video, we'll unveil all the secrets of daily Egyptian life and show how they turned their civilization into one of the greatest in history. Stay with us, and you'll learn all the most fascinating and exciting details. Let's start our journey with the geographical location of ancient Egypt. This incredible civilization was situated along the Nile River, the longest river in the world. The Nile wasn't just a river, it was the source of life for the Egyptians. Every year the river would overflow, leaving behind fertile silt on its banks. This silt was so rich in minerals that the land around the Nile became extremely fertile, allowing for the cultivation of enormous crops. The life of Egyptians was inseparably linked to the Nile. They called their country Kemet, meaning black land, because of the fertile soil provided by the Nile. The lands that weren't touched by the river were known as red land, the desert, harsh and barren. But what did a typical day look like for an Egyptian? Imagine a bustling marketplace where traders offer fruits, vegetables, fish, and meat. The city streets are filled with people rushing about their business. Inside each home, life is vibrant. Women cook meals, children play outside, and men work in the fields or at crafts. Egyptian society was highly hierarchical. At the top of the social pyramid was the pharaoh, the godlike ruler with absolute power. Below him were the priests, who performed religious ceremonies and managed temples. The next tier included officials and scribes, responsible for running the state and keeping records. Artisans and craftsmen created stunning works of art, while farmers and laborers provided food and other necessary resources. An important part of daily Egyptian life was their housing. Homes were built from mud bricks, made from a mixture of clay, straw, and water. These homes were simple but functional. Roofs were flat, and during hot nights, people often slept on them to cool down. The interior was modest, with small rooms containing basic furniture and clay floors. Egyptian clothing was light and practical for the hot climate. Men wore linen kilts, while women donned long dresses. Clothing was often decorated with embroidery and precious stones. Egyptians also loved to wear jewelry, necklaces, bracelets, earrings. The food Egyptians ate was quite varied for its time. Bread and beer were staples made from barley. Both of these products formed the core of their diet. In addition to bread and beer, Egyptians consumed fish, poultry, vegetables, and fruits. For example, dates, grapes, and figs were popular sweet treats. These foods not only provided nourishment, but also delighted the taste buds. As mentioned, an essential aspect of Egyptian life was their religious rituals and ceremonies. Religion was an integral part of daily life in ancient Egypt. Egyptians believed in many gods, each with its own sphere of influence. For instance, Ra was the sun god and considered the creator of all that exists. Throughout the day, Egyptians would offer prayers and sacrifices to Ra to ensure his blessing and protection. Rituals and ceremonies were a crucial part of religious practice. The process of mummification, for example, was an important ritual that prepared the body for the afterlife. This complex process involved removing internal organs, treating the body with spices, and wrapping it in linen strips. Mummified bodies were believed to help the soul continue to exist in the afterlife. Priests were not only spiritual leaders, but also scholars. They studied astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. Thanks to their knowledge, Egyptians were able to create one of the most accurate calendars of the time and develop sophisticated methods for treating illnesses. Let's talk about the role of women in Egyptian society. Unlike many other ancient civilizations, women in Egypt had significant rights. They could own property, run businesses, and divorce. Some women even became pharaohs like Hatshepsut. Education was an essential part of Egyptian life. Children from noble families attended schools where they learned writing, arithmetic, literature, and religion. Scribes were particularly respected in society as they were the keepers of knowledge and culture. Moving on to crafts. Egyptians were masters in various fields. They created magnificent jewelry, exquisite pottery, and grand temples and pyramids. Their art and craftsmanship are astonishing in their beauty and complexity. One of the most amazing achievements of the Egyptians was the construction of the pyramids. These majestic structures were tombs for pharaohs and symbols of their power. The most famous pyramid is the Great Pyramid of Giza, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Egyptians were also known for their medical knowledge. They could treat wounds, perform surgeries, and use herbs and other natural remedies. Some of their methods of treatment are still used in modern medicine today. Egyptian life was filled with joy and festivities. They loved music and dance, and grand feasts were common. At these celebrations, harps, lyres, flutes, and drums would play. Dancers performed graceful and expressive dances. Egyptians were not only great builders and scholars, but also talented artists. They created stunning frescoes and sculptures, decorating temples and tombs. Their art reflected their beliefs and daily life. Let's consider one of the most famous aspects of Egyptian culture, mummification. Egyptians believed in the afterlife and thought that for the soul to continue existing, the body had to be preserved. The process of mummification was intricate and involved removing internal organs, treating the body with spices, and wrapping it in linen. Pharaohs' tombs were real treasure troves. They were filled with golden jewelry, precious stones, and household items intended to assist the pharaoh in the afterlife. One of the most famous tombs is Tutankhamun's tomb, discovered by Howard Carter in 1922. Egyptians also believed in the power of amulets and talismans. They wore these for protection against evil spirits and diseases. One of the most popular amulets was the scarab beetle, a symbol of rebirth and protection. Writing played a significant role in Egyptian life. They used hieroglyphs, a complex writing system consisting of symbols and signs. Hieroglyphs were carved on temple and tomb walls and written on papyrus. They conveyed not only religious texts, but also everyday records. Egyptians were among the earliest astronomers. They closely observed stars and planets, creating precise calendars. Their knowledge of astronomy helped them determine planting and harvest times, plan religious ceremonies, and celebrate festivals. We'll end our journey by discussing the fall of the great Egyptian civilization. There were many reasons: internal conflicts, economic problems, invasions. Egypt experienced several invasions, from the Persians to the Greeks and eventually the Romans. Despite this, Egypt's legacy continues to live on in our culture and science. Dear friends, we hope you enjoyed our journey into the world of ancient Egypt. We explored daily life, saw how Egyptians built their homes, and learned about their customs and celebrations. If you're interested in learning more about Egyptian religion and rituals, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment. If we get 1,000 likes, we'll definitely make the next video about the religious practices and rituals of the ancient Egyptians. Thank you for watching, and see you again on our channel. Your participation and support make our content better.